What's up guys, Captain Coin Collector here, and I am pretty excited because when I just came home from working on board the tanker Evergreen State, just came home the other day, and I got my shipment of coin supplies, so I am ready to do a hunt and fill series. Here we are guys, got some tubes, we got some albums, we got some boxes. It's time to start the series. Alright guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I specialize on content created about coin and currency collecting and also do coin roll hunts and currency stack hunts. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more videos like this in the future. But anyways guys, I'm excited to announce that we finally have a hunt and fill series on this channel. To kick things off on a good note, I have 4 boxes of pennies that I will be hunting, so that's 10,000 pennies. And I'll be trying to fill in the least amount of boxes possible. I'm sure it's going to be a whole bunch of boxes, but see how many boxes it'll take to fill an entire Lincoln cent collection. That's starting from 1909 and ending in present day. So I bought all the albums for the pennies. I also have albums for the nickels, dimes, and quarters. And I'll be trying to film those hunt and fill series whenever I get the chance and whenever I get the coins. But for now, I'm sticking with the pennies. These boxes were purchased in New York about 4 months ago. This was before I got onto the ship for my last hitch. So they just been sitting in my basement for a while. And now I have a good reason to open them, which is this hunt and fill series. Alright guys, so I'm going to open up these boxes. Look for enders. If I don't find any enders, I'm going to go right into the hunt and fill you in when I find something. Alright guys, box 1 does look circulated, so we're going to start with box 1 of this 4-box Hunt and Fill series. Let's go. Alright guys, roll number 1, we have our first foreign, and it's going to be a Canadian from 2010. Now only 2 years later, Canada decided to get rid of their pennies, so this is a nice condition, 2010. But speaking of Canadian pennies, in addition to the books that I got for the Lincoln cent, I also got some Canadian small cent books, which I will hope to be filling. I'll also put some of my old collection in there, I think. But this is a great ad for the first Hunt and Fill series. Alright guys, roll number 3. And I could see it just beyond this coin over here. We got our first wheat penny of the bunch. Now, to find out what year it's from, and that looks like a 1946 Philadelphia. Alright guys, as you see here, I got another wheat penny. I saw the edge, I thought it looked old, and it was. It's a 1945 Philadelphia wheat cent. And also guys, same roll number 4. I saw another edge that looked slightly old, and it is. Let's see. We got ourselves a 1957 Denver. That's 3 wheat cents and 4 rolls. Off to a great start, guys. Alright guys, we're on our 5th roll and we have our first S-mint mark. This time, it's going to be in 1972 San Francisco. This coin gives me the opportunity to showcase my new toy. I ended up getting a digital microscope. And here we can clearly see that we have a 1972 San Francisco. I can't wait to use this thing more in the future, so I'm glad that's getting some use now. We are on roll number 6, guys, and holy moly, I started ripping the edge off and I flipped it over, and we have ourselves another wheat cent. That marks wheat cent number 4. Opened up roll number 6, and let's see what that wheat cent is. Looks like a 1936 Philadelphia, and that's it, 1936. Alright guys, same roll number 6, and we got another wheatie. Can't believe it, but it's a 1946, just 10 years later. Alright guys, I bring you on roll number 7. We got ourselves another wheat penny, this time from 1956, and it's a Philadelphia. We are on roll number 9, guys, and we appear to have our 7th wheat cent of the box. Let's see what year it is. All right, it's a later one. We got a 1955 Denver. Alright guys, I wasn't going to record this find, but I might as well since we have a 2009 on the bunch. Here we are. And it's a Denver. That's very nice. We'll put it aside. We also found our second San Francisco Mint mark. And it is a 1974. Put it under the scope to see a better picture of it. And it is in fact 1974 San Francisco. Alright guys, we are on roll number 13 and we have wheat cent number 8. Here we go. Let's see what it is. It's another 40s, another 1946. Alright guys, roll number 14 and we got another wheat cent. This time, a 1953 Denver. I bring you in because we got another 2009, a different one this time. We got the birth and early childhood and it's a Philadelphia. Alright guys, we are on roll number 19. After a little bit of a shortage with the wheat cents, we finally got another one. This one being a pretty old one, I'll put it up to the lens over here. But it's a very worn out 1935, our second 1930s of this hunt. We got a bunch more to go. I've been sorting the hunt and fill by year. Only like the better shaped ones I've been putting in. So I'm surprised that I found so much already. Not really a bunch of 90s that I'm putting aside, but I still do have 3 boxes remaining, so I don't think that will be a problem. But I do have a lot of 10s, 0s, and I do have enough of really all the Lincoln Memorial cents, I feel like, with the exception of probably some. But I don't really want to put ratty ones out in the beginning. I'd rather try to get some good condition ones of the common years that I know are common years. I think the most trouble we'll have with this series is filling the first book, the 1909 to 1940. But so far with 10 wheat pennies, I think we're doing pretty good with this box, and we do have 31 rolls to go. Roll number 23, and we have our 11th wheat cent of the box. And this time, we'll get a 1947 San Francisco. There we are, San Francisco. Alright guys, roll number 30 is going to give us another wheat cent, this time a later date, a 1956 Denver. Roll number 32 of this hunt, we get another wheat penny. Wheat penny number 13 is a 1950 S. Alright guys, wheat penny number 14, and we got ourselves a 1954 Denver. While roll number 36 had a 1959 Ender, inside the roll, however, we got another wheat cent, the last year of the wheat cent, in 1958. We're on roll number 38, almost at the end of the box, and we have wheat penny number 16, this time a 1952 Denver. And in the same roll, guys, we have another one. Looks pretty old, but it just might be worn out. Let's see what the date is. Wow. First 1920 coin of the hunt, a 1929. Let's put it underneath the scope to see that date. Yeah, it just looks like a regular. Philadelphia, 1929. Alright guys, that's it for box number 1, and it looks like we got a pretty good spread. We got 17 wheat cents from 1929 to 1958. We got a lot of Canadians, a lot of 1959, and some 2009 as well. I'll be reviewing everything once I go through the rest of the $75 worth of pennies, boxes 2s, 3s, and 4s. Do have a good spread going of this hunt and fill episode, putting the shiny ones in their respective cups, and we do have a lot of copper. I will be weighing that up shortly and giving you a number at the end of the video. Alright guys, on to box number 2. Alright guys, we are on box number 2, and we are on the 6th roll, and we got our first wheat cent. Now it's a little crummy, so I'm going to put it underneath the microscope to see what we got, and it looks like a 1941 to start off the second box with wheat number 18 of this hunt. Alright guys, we're back on track with roll number 8, and we got another wheat cent, this time a 1952 Denver. Alright guys, roll number 11 gave us our next wheat cent, 1958 Philadelphia. This is number 20 for the hunt. All right, guys, yet another ender. We got another wheat cent. Let's see what we got. Wow, we got our first 1930s of the box and the third 1930s for this hunt, a 1936 Philadelphia. And now that the roll is empty, we have another wheat cent. This time, a 47 Philadelphia. All right, guys, I was just thinking that this box was slow, but long and behold, roll number 19, we got ourselves another wheat cent. And this time, it's a 53 Denver. All right, guys, we're almost halfway through the box, and we have another wheat cent. Wheat cent number 7 for this box is going to be 53 Denver. We're on roll number 25, and we have another wheat cent. This time, it's a 54 Denver. Roll number 28, and we got ourselves a wheat penny. This year is, wait, what? 1918, 104-year-old penny. Wait a second. That back is in pretty good shape for being a 1918. Holy moly. We got ourselves our oldest penny of the hunt so far, 104 years old. Holy moly, I did not expect that. All right, guys, roll number 30 is going to give us another wheat cent. Not as old as the last one, but a 1958 still counts. Third roll in a row with a wheat penny. This time, 1944, Philadelphia. Well, this is roll number 33, meaning 4 in a row with wheats. This time, a 57 Denver. On roll 46 of box number 2, and we have our second ender of the box, another wheat cent ender. Let's see what it is. All right, guys, so this is our 13th wheat cent of the box and 30th of the hunt. It's a 1941 Philadelphia. Let's see if we got anything else in this box. All right, guys, that was quick. Just lifted the first penny up, and we have another one. Number 14. This one seems old, but it might be a joker and be a 50s. Are you kidding me? We got ourselves a 1919. Holy moly, we got a 1918 and a 1919 in this box. 2 1910s for this hunt so far. Can we get any more? But just wow. I knew it seemed old, and I was right. Add it to the pile, and keep on hunting. We are on the last roll, and what's a last roll without another wheat cent? Here we are. Looks like it's 40s or 50s, and it is a 1940 Philadelphia. Nothing else in this roll that I see, but we got a pretty good spread. With this wheat penny, that makes 15 for the box and 32 for the hunt so far. We did find a few 59s, Canadians, estimate marks, and 2009s. But again, we'll go over it once we complete box 3 and 4. All right, guys, we are on box number 3. Let's see what this one offers. All right, guys, we're on roll 4 of box number 3. And we got our first wheat cent, number 31 of the hunt. It's going to be a 1957 Denver. Roll 6, and we got our second wheat cent of this box. This time it's a 45 Philadelphia. Roll 8 is going to bring us another wheat cent, the third one of the box. And it's a little scratchy, so I'm going to put it under the scope. And there we are. 1946 Philadelphia. Roll number 10, and it looks like we have our fourth wheat cent of the box. 1956 Denver. Not only that, but that penny just decided to stand up by itself. And we got this pretty cool, very nice condition, 1961 Denver, which would be a great add to the book. We are on roll number 12 of the box, and we just found a 1944 Philadelphia. Roll number 15, and we have our sixth wheat cent of the box. This time, it's 1953 Denver. Let's continue the hunt to see if we have anything else. Roll 23 is going to give us our 7th wheat cent of the box, a 1945 Philadelphia. Alright guys, I bring you in to roll 24 because we have a young head Canadian ender. Let's see if this Canadian ender has any friends. So the Canadian mistress hasn't had any friends, but it's nice to see a 1959 amongst the other Canadian pennies I found in this box. Put it aside and continue the hunt. Very next roll, guys, and we have another wheat penny. 1944. Alright guys, roll number 28 is going to give us another wheat penny, and this time it's a 40 Philadelphia. Alright guys, I just brushed down the pile a little bit, and I saw a 1944 wheat cent. This one, a Philadelphia. Alright guys, as you see, another wheat cent. This is roll number 30, and it seems like it's a little older than 1950s, so let's see. There we go, 1937, another 30s on the board. Alright guys, 35 rolls in, and we have a wheat cent ender. Let's see what it is. Alright guys, here's the roll, and we got ourselves a 1952 Philadelphia. Alright guys, next roll, and I already saw it, but we have a 2009 ender. I'm not going to really show the roll unless I find anything else. But let's continue with the hunt. Wheat penny number 13, guys, on roll number 41. This time we got a 1940 Philadelphia. Alright guys, roll 44. The box is going to give us another wheat cent. Again, another 1952 Philadelphia. And also, guys, later in the same roll, we got another wheat cent. Looks like another 1950s, and it is a 1956 Denver. Alright, guys, as I was laying it down, we have another wheat cent. This is number 16 for the box, and it's a 1945. Alright, guys, box number 3 wasn't too bad. We got another big cup of coppers, as well as 16 Wheaties and a bunch of Canadians, 2009s, and estimate marks. Pretty excited to go through box number 4 now to see what else we can pull from this 10,000 pennies special first episode of the Hunt and Fill series. Alright guys, roll number 5 of box number 4, and I got my first wheat cent of the box. We got a 1946 Philadelphia to kick her off. The next roll, guys, we got another wheat cent, this time in the 40s. 44 Philadelphia. Roll number 9, and we got our third wheat cent of the box. This time, it's the end of the collection, 1958 Denver. Alright guys, roll 10, and out of the corner of my eye, I see another wheat cent, and it does look old. So let's see what it is. Yeah, it's just a 1955 Denver. Alright guys, we're on roll 17, and we found number 5 of this box, and it's a 1953. Alright guys, we kind of hit a slump. We are on roll number 26 now, and we got our 6th wheat cent of the box, a 1957 Denver. Alright guys, same box, and we got another wheat cent, and this one is a 1956 Philadelphia. Alright guys, not necessarily the best find, but it is a 2012 Canadian penny, which happens to be the last year of the Canadian penny, so it's pretty cool to find one in actually not too bad condition. Alright guys, we are on roll number 40, and we got another wheat penny, a 1945 Philadelphia. We'll add it to the stack. Alright guys, roll 41, the last roll of the box, and we have a little present for us, 2 wheat cents in a row. This one kind of looks like, yep, 1952 Denver, as well as a little bit of an older one, I believe. This time, a 1950, just a little older. Alright guys, holy moly, we found ourselves an old Canadian coin. 1934. Just look at that. Wow. 1 cent Canada. 1934. With only 3 rolls left in the box, we have another wheat cent. And this one is going to be a 57 Philadelphia. Just a few rolls later in the same box, we have our 12th wheat cent of the box. And it's a 1952 Philadelphia. Second to last roll, guys, and we have wheat cent number 13. And we got ourselves another 1957 Philadelphia. All right, guys, now that we're finished with the coin roll hunting part, I gotta organize these pennies, which are 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and the 2010s and 20s are in the same bin. And I gotta sort through them to see which ones are the best so that I could put them in the album. I've gotta count all my wheat cents, as well as 2009s, Canadians, estimate marks, and give you an update and a recap of what we found during the hunt, as well as I'll count all the coppers that I found, and I did find a bunch of those. But anyways, let me go through all these coins, put them in the albums, and give you a recap of, guys, what exactly I found in this episode. Alright guys, so I'm going to try to keep this recap short, but as you see, searching 10,000 pennies, I did find a lot of coins. So first, I'll start up here. I did find a few uncirculated coins, or what I think to be uncirculated. I got anything reaching from 1959 all the way to 1975, so these will be great additions to the albums. Moving down, I found 8 San Francisco mint marked pennies from 1968 to 1974. I found a few 2009s, 24 in total. 17 of them are from the Philadelphia, and I have the complete collection of 4. Meanwhile, I'm just missing one on the Denver side, and I found 7 of them. In total, I found 23 Canadians, including a King George V, a 1934, a Younghead, 1959, and the last year of the penny, 2012. Found some 1959s as well. 21 in total, 8 Philadelphias, and 13 Denvers. Now, moving on to the wheat cents. I found 2 1910s, 1918 being the earliest, followed by a 1919. Found one 1929, 4 1930s, 1935D, 2 1936s, and a 1937. I found a bunch more 1940s, 22 in total, and 33 1950s wheat cents. But I missed this one when I was going through the coins. I thought it was like a 1959 Denver, but it turns out that's a brilliant 1957 Denver. I'll put it under the microscope to show you guys, but it's a pretty nice 1957 Denver. And it's got plenty of detail also on the back of the cent, where you can see the wheats pretty clearly. So this is a pretty good coin to add to the book. I was really not expecting to find a nice uncirculated 1957 wheat cent, but I'm glad I did. In all, I do collect 1998s. Unfortunately, none of them were the close AM, but I still have $1.07 to add to my jar. I have all the hunt and fills ready to go to put in my album. And in total for the copper, since I don't count the 1959s, from 1960 to 1982, I found 1,738 coppers, which is 17% of the boxes being copper, which is actually pretty good, and I am not upset about that. But anyways, we did really good with this 10,000 penny hunt, and I look forward to the next hunt. But right now, I gotta fill the albums and show you exactly how much of the albums we filled and how much we have to go. Alright guys, first time to go over the albums. Now, we have 4 albums for the Lincoln cents, and as I said at the beginning of the video, I didn't know if I wanted to include the Canadian pennies in the Hunt and Fill series, but why not? I have them, we might as well use them. So, I have 2 Canadian albums as well, which I'm going to try to fill. They're not my priority, the Lincoln cents are, but we'll see where we get with them. But anyway, for this Hunt and Fill episode, being that it was episode 1, I'm sorry that it is a long video, but there was just so much to cover, especially with 4 boxes of pennies. Now I have them volume 1, 2, 3, and 4, as well as Canadian 1 and 2. This first volume, we found 7 out of the 89 spots in the album, which is pretty good. We got a 1918, a 1919, 29, and our lowest mintage of the hunt was this 1939 Denver, 47 million minted. But volume 1 is off to a good start with 7 out of 89. Next is volume 2 of these H.E. Harris folders, 1941 to 1974. We managed to fill 53 out of the 87 slots. That's pretty good. I did miss some. I have to say that throughout the hunt, I thought I put some aside. Of some of the years, like 1969 Denver, I definitely had one of those. But that's the beauty of these Hunt and Fill series. There'll be many more boxes in the future for which I can fill that spot. But anyways, 53 out of 87 is a great start. I am missing, as you know, more of the lower mintage and earlier years of the scent. But as we go towards the end of the book, the spots are more filled. And that's volume 2 of the pennies. Time to go to volume 3, where it's a little bit more full than this one. Alright guys, volume 3. There's 89 spots and we filled 78 of them. Like I said before, there are definitely some that I have missed, but that's the beauty of the hunt. We will fill them eventually, especially with these common years where there's, let's say for 78D, 4.3 billion minted. I also try to find the best conditioned coins. So some of them were just too bad to actually just put in the book, so I decided to maybe leave them. We are missing one Denver 2009, but we did find the other 7. So that is a plus, as well as we found most of the Denvers in the Shieldiverse. The only Denver we haven't found is in the last album, and it's the 2022 Denver. Now, we didn't find the 2022 Denver, I believe, because these are just older boxes. They are in circulation. I have found them while I was on the ship, but being that these boxes are about 5 months old, they probably haven't reached my area for full circulation. But definitely with the rolls that I have picked up today, I feel like that we will fill this spot pretty soon. All in all, in total, we got 155 coins in the books out of the 283 slots, meaning that we're almost 55% done with this series, but I'm sure it'll take a little bit longer than a couple episodes to fill these books. Anyway, guys, we have found a total of 18 Canadians for the books, 12 in the first edition. Out of 74 slots, we filled 12, including a 1934 King George V, as well as a 1959 Younghead. A little bit more common years we started to fill. I mean, being in New York, that's probably why I had found 23 Canadians this episode. But I feel it's a good start. The second volume, we found 6 out of the 38, meaning that in total we have 18 out of the 112 coin slots, meaning we found just over 16% of the collection of Canadian pennies. We did find also the last year of the penny, the 2012. So I feel like this was a pretty good hunt for Canadians as well, being that we did pull almost 6 per box. So that is pretty cool. And that is about it for now. Alright guys, thank you for watching this monumental Kickstart episode of the Hunt and Fill series. We searched through 10,000 pennies, and I am amazed of all the finds that we found. 62 wheats, we almost found $20 worth of copper. We found a lot of things, and we had a good start to the Hunt and Fill series. 55% done with the books, 155 out of the 283 slots. So now I look forward to not only filling the books, but upgrading the collection and see how many boxes it takes us to finally complete it. Now my plan for this series is to kind of compare my results with other YouTube channels to see where I'm at and how I'm doing. I know Rob Finds Treasure does this, and a few other coin roll hunting channels do it as well, but I finally had the idea to do it myself, And I feel like it's a pretty fun and great idea to try to grow this channel as well as grow my collection. So I really appreciate you guys watching, and if you're not already subscribed, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Our next goal is 500 subscribers. We demolished our last goal of 100 subscribers last month, so I'm pretty happy and very blessed of the opportunity that I get to share my coin collecting with you guys as well as my coin roll hunting. And with that, thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. As always, happy hunting!